Guys, welcome to another one of our shipping videos, and great to be back today. Great to be back feeling a little bit better. I must be honest, when I did last week's shipping video, I was just about present, so hopefully I didn't mess up on anything, and hopefully you enjoyed it still. So the shipping video, it's that time every week where we get to look at the guitars that we completed the week before and that are shipping around the world. And this week we have a really nice selection. We've got one of our Solace that's going out to USA. We have let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 X20s going out to USA and Canada. 2 of those are actually the custom Fireburst guitars. They're the 10th anniversary commemorative X20 guitars, which are really cool. 4 X30s, which is nice to see. Nice to see more of our X30s going out, and they're going out to USA, Canada, USA and Germany. So nice selection of guitars. No 12 strings this week, which, oh no, yeah, actually one at the end, sorry, didn't even notice that. Yeah, a little bit of variety in it, and yeah, so we're going to get into it. I'm also going to talk you through exactly how these are designed. So I'm going to do a walkthrough on the 3D builder, and that's just, you know, tell you about all the different features, so we'll put that in towards the end. And it's always just really good to understand maybe the path that somebody might have taken to design this guitar, how they communicate with us here at the factory. So if you're thinking about buying an Emerald guitar custom build, then that's going to be a really useful thing for you. So let's jump in on the first one here. So it's going out to Phil in Washington, and last month was a big month for the Solace guitars, and it's really nice to see them really starting to take off and people enjoying them. So the Solace is our Weissenborn style lap slide guitar. Quite a mouthful, isn't it? But yeah, so it's an acoustic hollow body guitar, an entire hollow instrument that you play slide. And so if you're not familiar with what a Weissenborn is, it's played sitting down, no frets on it, so you play it using a steel and give the most wonderful haunting sound. I just love the accompaniment of this instrument along with our other guitars. It really added something kind of into our orchestra of sounds, and it's been something I've kind of always talked about. I think as I've been designing all the different Emerald range, it's almost like I'm building my own orchestra. You know, I kind of get to hear all those sounds together, and when we built this, it just brought another dynamic into the music that we can create on Emerald guitars. So this is a beautiful black carbon one, with the Celtic knots there on the fretboard, and black carbon back and sides. So real nice classic look there. So that's going out to Phil in Washington. That's a nice way to start today. So then we've got Jane in Ontario in Canada, and Jane's got this X20 Clara Walnut, and we had a few Clara Walnuts going out over the last few weeks. And Clara Walnut has this really nice colours, almost like a marbling finish that's going through it. There's nice marble mottled type coloration that runs through this Clara Walnut, and then this really nice pattern just sitting here framing the end of the neck, which is quite beautiful. The fingerboard has the gold rings on it. The back and sides is black carbon, and it's a real nice contrast with the front. And the pickup system here is our Graphtec piezo's, the fully adjustable bridge on here with the volume control. Then we've got Harold in Colorado, and this is Zircotti. Just a beautiful wood, really dark browns. It's got the black pattern running through it, and what I always say about this is it looks like it's a patchwork of different pieces of wood all patched together. Really quite striking, and you've got all these variations between the swirl patterns and then sort of like the straight grain in between, and very, very intriguing but beautiful. I love the darkness of it. This has been matched with the black carbon on the back and side, which is a good match for Zircotti. This is the Graphtec with the K&K Pure Minis inside, 2 volume controls, the stereo output, and on this one Harold has left the fretboard just black carbon, and which looks really nice, classy, and a good contrast. That's a beautiful guitar. Tom in Michigan. Another zircotti. Actually very, very similar patterns, and it's got that same coloration. The other thing that I will say that I love is the fact that it's got black lines. It just really blends into that little black fade that we put right around the edge of all our guitars. So whenever you see that on the veneers, it's just how the whole thing unifies then very nicely, becomes very seamless. Again, the black fretboard, and this one with the amber backing sides, and amber also works really well with the zircotti on top, and this one's got the high vibe pickup system. And then we have another one, Frederick in Ohio, and so I'm not sure how we've ended up with 3 coming through all together. Must have been something in the air that week. And again, another one with a really nice pattern, and this one's a little bit different because it's got the lighter wood in the center, and that adds a really nice extra pattern to it. This big boulder pattern running down the sides, and that's what's really nice, you know, on the 3D builder. If you go onto the website and go into the veneer section, there's such a variety of different pieces whenever you go into the different species. So whenever you go in and select zircotti, you're going to be able to see all the different options that we have there, and see them on a guitar. And so that's what's, you know, been nice about how we actually sell our guitars. We're not just selling a species and then you get whatever we choose. You get to choose the exact piece and the exact pattern, and that's what builds a guitar for you that is entirely as unique as a fingerprint. The fretboard on this one has the Celtic knots done in silver, and beautifully executed there on the fretboard, and then an amber back and sides and a high vibe. So that's beautiful to see those 3 together, and a great example of 3 guitars with very similar specs but very, very different at the same time. Now we're getting into the Fireburst. So if you haven't already seen the story behind the Fireburst, the X20 is 10 years old, and I wanted to commemorate that in some way, so I decided we'd do a limited edition of 20 pieces. Most of them are sold out. I think there's still maybe a small number left, and I wanted to do something that just marked the guitar and showed just how far we've brought it in terms of style, but really keep it a classic look. So something really unique that we did here. So the fretboard inlay, I think, is the first thing that will catch people's eye. And what we did was we created ohm writing. So this is ancient Celtic ohm writing, and it's a type of writing that uses lines that would have been chiseled on a rock to spell out a word. So in this case, it says emerald, E-M-E-R-A-L-D. And what I've done on each of these is I'm actually doing this by hand myself. Everyone's hand done, so it's not uniform. So each one's going to be that little bit different. Each one has a little bit of irregularity. I wanted to make it look like it's been chiseled out of stone, and I really like how it's come out. And so each one of these I'm doing personally, and then I've signed each one. So this is number 3 out of 20. This specific one that's going out to Sue in Texas. And then what we did was we created a new color. So I worked along with my painter. We mixed up all kinds of different colors, and it was kind of fun doing that little bit of mixing, trying to find exactly the right shades. And we came up with what we call the Fireburst. So beautiful shading between amber and reds and oranges. And then we created Phoenix Orange, which is a blend between oranges, ambers and reds, and it's just such a wonderful color. It has that amber glow, but then has this red tint to it as well, and we've given it a little bit of an extra red burst just around the edges just to highlight the corners. So just really beautiful colors on here. We've given it our adjustable bridge, which really signifies the innovation that we've put on our guitars over the years. It's the dual pickup system that has the 6 Graphtec piezos and the K&K Pure Mini on the inside with the volume controls. And it's a very classic look, but really I think signifies the the beauty of what the X20 is all about. So nice to see that coming through. So that one's going to Sue, and then this one's going to Thomas in Ontario, and this is 02 of 20. So you can see just, you know, how it's a little bit different on the fretboard with the inlay. These are quite a tricky little thing to carve, but the only thing I do actually with CNC is the numbers, just to keep that a little bit crisper. Yeah, it was quite fun just doing that. And doing something actually and making it different every time is actually harder than you might think. So thanks to Thomas and Sue for jumping on there and getting the Fireburst. Jack in New Jersey has gone for an X30, and this is the Redwood Burl. And Redwood Burl is one of the most fun ones to look at in the 3D builder because it's got such interesting patterns. Maybe we'll have a look at Redwood Burl when we go to the builder in a minute. So beautiful pattern. It's got this amazing sort of almost marbled finish kind of going on here. This really nice, interesting pattern, and yeah, there's just so much going on that top. Very classy look, beautiful colors, and then we've got the gold inlay on the fretboard here with the vines. It's got the vibrant amber back and sides, and that vibrant finish just really pops. Been very, very popular on our guitars recently, and again the dual pickup system on here. Then here's a really standout piece going to Robert in Ontario, and this is Candy Stripe Padauk. And if you've seen all the Candy Stripe Padauk guitars going through over the previous weeks, you'll see just how much variation is on there. And again, on the builder, it's a great place to see the different variations. And this one's a really big, bold pattern, big pattern of the reds coming through there, and really looks great on that guitar top. And I love how it just really frames around the neck and the bridge. Fretboard inlay is the white Celtic knots, and again a vibrant amber back and sides, and the high vibe pickup system. Then we've got John in Pennsylvania, another very different looking guitar, and this one is teal. It's a new teal green color that we've been doing on quilted maple, and it's a beautiful color. Really keeps the movement of that quilted maple very nicely, and we've got the gold vines on the fretboard, and the vibrant teal green back and sides. It's a beautiful color, isn't it? And this is going with our traditional bridge with the Eller Bags element pickup. So let's just have a look at that one. Really catches the light beautifully. And then the last one we've got today is going out to Alex in Germany, and another Redwood Burl, and again with that same big bold pattern on there. Really it's just quite beautiful. On this one it's got the Celtic knots, the Celtic vines with the leaves, and that gold hardware. So beautiful big jumbo 12 string. I was actually just looking at the numbers just yesterday, and the X20 12 string used to be our sort of default 12 string, and since we've launched the X30 12 string, it's actually been pretty much 50-50 between the two. So it's nice to see so many people embracing the X30 12. I believe it's just a phenomenal sounding instrument. And it's really nice to have a great variation now between the X30, X7 12 string and the X20. And we do actually do the X10 12 string. It's not listed on the website, but we can do an X10 12 string. So a lot of variation on our 12 string guitars. And that one's done with the black carbon back and sides, the gold hardware, and again with a high vibe. So if you're looking for a really big sounding 12 string guitar, then the X30 12 is a really great option. Just so much fullness. So we're going to have a look at all the stock guitars now on the screen. So the guitars we've got here on the screen now are the stock guitars that have already shipped out. And just to make sure that we're giving everybody a shout out, we like to go through these as well. So the first one of these going out is Garrett in California, and he's got the beautiful Kestrel in the black carbon. And I'm going to go through these pretty quick because I've got quite a few on here. Then we've got Laura in Florida. This fantastic Virtuo with the vibrant weave in the blue and the deeper burst around the sides. Very striking. Then Derek in Scotland. He's gone for the Synergy X20, and I love this Synergy. It was a really standout instrument with that royal ebony and the inlays up the neck. Just a really amazing looking guitar. Jesper in Sweden, an X30 in the vibrant blue, beautiful big blue jumbo. James in Missouri, Chimera, and this one is flame maple and with the red finish, and a really nice look on that. Dan in Florida, Dan's got Virtuo in the black carbon fiber and the black hardware. Then we've got John in Texas, an X20 baritone, and again finished in the black carbon. Then we've got Gary in Indiana, an X7 12 string. So we looked at the big jumbo X30 12 string there earlier in the video, and so this is our little small body parlor 12 string, and that one's in the candy stripe Paduke. Beautiful finish there. Then we've got another Kestrel. This one's gone out to Fred in New Mexico, and that vintage amber burst over quilted maple. And now that's a very striking guitar. Lovely big warm colors on that. Logan in Minnesota has a Virtuo, and this one is finished in Tamawash with the clear finish. And a lot of times we do Tamawash with the vintage amber burst, but it's got really nice coloration left, natural like this is, and it's got that really nice quilt pattern on it. Then we got Ian in England, an Amicus with the vibrant weave in red. Last month was a huge month for the Amicus, and such a great instrument. Richard in Massachusetts. This is a guitar actually that I used in a couple of videos because it just looked so striking. Beautiful X20 with the purple quilted maple and the Celtic knot inlays up the fretboard. Yeah, Richard, you got a real gem there. Terry in Scotland, another one of her 12 strings, a big X30 12 string jumbo. This one's finished in redwood burl and amber back and sides. Philip in England, an X20, and that one's candy stripe Paduke, and yeah, really big striking pattern on that, not dissimilar to the X30 we looked at earlier. Thomas in North Carolina, an X20 nylon. This one's a Mara ebony and with just a natural clear finish on it. Then we have Karen in Arizona, and Karen bought the our Painter's Edition custom X7, and this was a guitar that our painter Carl put together. He did a couple of custom guitars just over the last while, kind of experimental, and he just likes to put his own creative twist on it. And this was, I think, a really great use of color and combinations of the different blues and the vibrant finish, and that lovely inlay on there. So Karen, I hope you love that guitar. It's definitely a very nice piece. Chris in Florida has also gone for an X7, and that's just with the black carbon finish. Michael in New York, another X7. It's funny, that one, similar kind of colorations almost to the painter one. So this is finished in blue Harborica, and that has that nice contrast in colors between the light and the dark blues there. Morgan in Tennessee, another X7, and this one is finished in quilted maple with the vintage amber burst, and I love the really nice piece of quilted maple there, really nice pattern on that. Akiko in Arizona, a Virtuo with redwood burl and amber back and sides, and yeah, redwood burl on a Virtuo is a very nice combination. Fred in Rhode Island, another Virtuo also with redwood burl, and a very different pattern on that one. You can see that bigger, bolder pattern, and that's what's nice on the redwood burl. So we're going to have a look at a redwood burl and take it through the builder here now at the end of this video, and that's the last one. So so that's it for today. Nice selection of guitars on here, and as I mentioned, I'm going to have a look now at the builder and show you just how you want to build one of our custom guitars. So what I want to do is just talk you through how you might go on our 3D builder and actually design a guitar. So I've pulled Jack's guitar here, and I think it's a great example of how you choose all the different features. So it's got the redwood burl on the top, it's got that nice vine inlay there, it's got the vibrant amber back and sides, and it's got that stereo pickup system there. So we'll just go on the builder. And we'll have a look at how we navigate through. So the first starting point is just the Emerald homepage, so emeraldguitars.com. And in the top tabs here, you can select the 3D builder. And when you do so, it's going to take you to a selection of all the different guitars. So you can find a different model for every single guitar. We've had them all added into the 3D builder, and we're going to launch the X30. So you want to give that just a few seconds to load. It takes about 10-15 seconds if it's the first time you've used the site. So when it loads up, the first thing you're going to see is the model for the guitar, and you'll see that it's actually been very nicely positioned inside the Emerald Cottage. So that's an actual building that's just round the corner here. It's actually where I first started making guitars. It's where we used to have our spray booth over 20 years ago, and so it was a building that we renovated recently. It's a beautiful, beautiful building, and nice to have it actually as a virtual model that you can all experience. So the guitar's in there, and you have the ability to zoom in on it. You can look at all the different details, and it's a really nice way to see all the different aspects of the guitar. And we've made it that it catches the light, reflects the light in the same way as the natural paint finish does, and so you can see how the highlights and how all the reflections actually catch on the carbon. And it's very realistic that way, especially when we add color. So we can add all the different carbon colors, and on Jack's guitar we actually went for the vibrant finish and the amber. So you can see that just how that looks, that really nice rich finish. So the veneer is really where you get to customize the guitar and make it look very individual. So we have all these different veneers, and if you select different models, it will only select the veneers that are big enough to fit that model. So we've got redwood burl, and when we go to redwood burl, there's only 9 choices there because it's quite a large guitar, so not every piece will fit. And if you hover over them, you get to see the actual pieces of veneer. You can see the full sheet, so you can see what's actually off on the periphery. And this guitar is RWB038. So what we do is we photograph and scan every single piece of veneer we have in stock, and then we're able to project that onto the 3D model. So it's a really neat piece of kit. So not only do you get to see that on the guitar, you also get to adjust the position. Now you can only adjust the position as large as the actual piece of veneer is. So this is quite a large guitar and a smallish piece of veneer, so there's not really much adjustment. But with the slider here, you can adjust up and down. Also, you can rotate it 180 degrees, and that's going to flip it, and you'll see the pattern entirely in reverse. And that's a really nice feature, because when you turn it upside down, you get a really different visual on the guitar. So we'll go back to the original position and find exactly where Jack positioned it. I think it was somewhere just about there, and yeah, that looks fantastic. And you really start then being able to see the different colors, see how it interplays, how it works. And I will have to say that the colors are only just a representation. Whenever we put the final color and the finish on, how that interacts with the real natural wood can change the tones just a little bit. So this is really an artistic impression of what the guitar would be like, and it's always good to bear that in mind. But that's why I always recommend that you go and look at finished guitars as well in like the shipping video, and gives you a good idea. So that's the veneer on there. We go over to the other side here and choose our hardware. So in pickup options, Jack chose the Ghost Piezo with K&K contact pickup, and if you hover over the little eye, it's going to give the information of what that pickup system is. So it just gives you a little bit more detail, and that's right throughout the site. Hardware color, we have the choice of gold, chrome or black, and as you change them you get to see how that's going to look with the guitar. And in this case this guitar has the Cosmo Black, so you can zoom out there and have a look at that. Then inlay, so I think it's the Celtic vine with the leaves, am I right? Yes, that's what's on this guitar. And again, you click on that, gives you a choice of silver, gold or white. And so you get to see what it'll look like in different ways. And so I'm guessing that Jack looked at the gold and just seen how that really stands out and complements the colors of the redwood burl. Then you can go down then and you can add in other custom features like a custom neck width, custom scale length, custom fretboard radius, and you can even add a strap into the order here as well, and it very neatly adds it on there, so you get to see what a nice handmade custom emerald strap would look like. So those features are all there. Now the custom neck widths and scale lengths, they don't actually change the visual, but they give you the information of what that's going to do to your guitar and the cost. So that's basically it. That's how you go in and design a guitar on the 3D Builder. Then you can go through here and review an order, or what you can also do is you can share your guitar. So when you click in here, it gives you an option to save a GIF, which is a rotating image of the guitar. You can save a JPEG, you can share it on Facebook, or you can copy the URL of it as well and save that. And so that's a really nice thing to do. You might want to go in there and save multiple guitars, save multiple images, and then you can compare them back and forward. So yeah, so that's the 3D Builder, and I just thought it'd be useful to give you a little walkthrough and help you maybe understand the best way to navigate through that. So we believe it's the best option out there for a 3D design tool for guitars. We're really excited about it. We've been redeveloping it and enhancing it over the last couple of years. And if you come across any little issues in how it's performing, sometimes there's different issues on different browsers, please let us know. Comment in the comments below if you've had any problems, but hopefully it'll be pretty smooth for you. So that's it. Hopefully that's been informative for you this week. I've enjoyed doing it, and again we'll be back again next week with more.